everyone, and welcome to Bahrain. It's the third round. We've been doing this quite a while now. It feels like it's still the start of the season. It feels like we've been here for a couple of days, and now suddenly we're round 3 already, Alex. And it's Bahrain, a track that you love, I hear.
Yeah, I love this circuit because it's so interesting with such a wide range of corners and interesting corner profiles, such as a long sweeping right-hander, a long sweeping left-hander, hairpin. You know, there's a lot of variety, so it's certainly an interesting track.
Is there anything better than a Herman Tilke design track, though?
Yeah, one that isn't designed by Herman Tilke.
Exactly.
Yeah, the one benefit of Bahrain, or I should say the Sakhir circuit, not specifically Bahrain as a country, is there is some decent overtaking opportunities. Turn 1, turn 3, turn 6 if you're opportunistic enough, and if you really want to try. If you even bother trying 7 or 8, you are possibly a maniac, but it will be an interesting move. Pretty much every braking zone is an overtaking opportunity here. I wouldn't say the chicane and the start of the second sector is, but for the most part, all the other corners can be used to get past. So it might not just be a train like we saw in Suzuka or we saw in Albert Park, which are both, you know, very limited overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, also much easier to recharge your battery here, which wasn't the case at Suzuka. So we will see whether anyone can, use the battery a little bit more, rather than it just sort of all balancing out, because there wasn't that many overtakes, as you say, at Suzuka. It was quite a hard track to overtake at. So let's see how that balances out. We've had 2 races and 1 race winner. Aaron Vasquez won both of the first 2 rounds of the season, and I mean, he obviously is very well known in other circles in racing, but has come into SL2 and absolutely smashed it, hasn't he, so far?
That might just be the understatement of the year so far, I would say. Dominant is the accurate adjective to describe Aaron Vasquez's current campaign. Of course, winning the first 2 rounds, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say that he might have a chance at making that 3 for 3, although in the interview last time he said that Bahrain wasn't a track he was particularly familiar with, but I reckon he'll be able to overcome that, of course, with his extensive iRacing experience, of course leading the championship for Optimal. But in the constructors standings, things look a little bit different. Apex Grand Prix actually fronts the Constructors' Championship, because while Vasquez does have 50 points, the 2 Apex drivers have been consistently at the front and have been able to put themselves at the front of Constructors. 64 points versus Optimal's 58. 50 of those being Aaron Vasquez's, so it's certainly a one-sided fight for Optimal, it would seem.
So far. I mean, it's a long old season.
So far, of course, yes. Well, we don't know that. It's been 6 weeks already, and we've gone through 3 rounds, and we didn't even really notice it going by, did we, Toby?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If we have a look at the practice session, because we've got less than a minute left of it, I believe. In fact, the checker flag has flown.
Less than a minute.
Yeah. Interestingly, Jean Schux is popped up at the top of the timesheets, and then Patrick and Magnussen. The Apexes aren't anywhere near, which is quite interesting. As well as Vasquez hasn't got seemingly the dominant pace for this round. I have heard he's been a little underprepared laps-wise for this one, but yeah, it remains to be seen whether he can continue his form. But Luke Mitchell up there in P5 as well. He was very much a form driver at the end of last season. Hasn't had a great start to the season whatsoever. And look at Scott Mitchell-Marm as well. Pops in P6. Those 2, I do know, have been working very hard indeed. So let's see what happens. It's qualifying as they go back to the pit lane and smash into each other in the garage. It is qualifying is about to begin. One thing we should note: this track is a DLC content track for R Factor 2, and very pretty it is as well. One of the more recent ones. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's going to be... Well, that was one of the reasons that Bahrain wasn't on the calendar. And now we've got a decent version of Bahrain. We might actually see some decent action and no cars getting sent by a curb into space. Like Artemis 2 happened on... what was it? Friday? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
They were at the other side of the moon today, weren't they? They're on their way back now.
Dark Side of the Moon. That's a Pink Floyd song, isn't it? Yeah.
Sure.
Wonder if they were listening to it.
I don't know. Question.
Or is that the album? I think that's the name of the album.
I'm afraid I'm not as old as you by the sounds of things. So I don't know.
I don't listen to them, so I actually don't know. I'm sure someone
Why not?
that does will let me know.
Why not? It sounds like you do.
Why not? No. Have you? Do you know what a single Pink Floyd song sounds like, Toby? I certainly don't.
I'd imagine. Yeah, I'd imagine it's good.
Yeah. Awesome. Very, very productive conversation there.
What do you want me to say?
Um,
Oh no is the
qualifying.
answer.
We'll talk about qualifying.
Qualification. Yeah, let's see what happens in this one. It's going to be interesting. I expected some different names at the top of the timesheets at the end of practice, to be brutally honest with you, but not to be. Don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Well, we saw certainly last time that practice times don't really matter. Actually, no, that's not true. Aaron Vasquez was first in practice, first in qualifying, and then first in the race. But in Australia, Aaron Vasquez wasn't, and he was, and then didn't qualify on pole. So who knows? Zolt Schucks could very well qualify on pole here, and take the lead into lap 1. Patrick Magnussen might finally have a decent qualifying and start towards the front, based on his practice positions, because he's been higher up in practice, but a little bit in the middle of nowhere when it comes to qualifying. So hopefully a better run for Patrick, the Icelandic driver, as we are on probably halfway through the first outlaps now, and we'll get a proper bearing of who will be where in qualifying. 14 minutes of this.
Standard question: who's going to be on pole?
Who's right at the back? No,
I don't know.
Who is right at the back? Fabrizio Gobbi for Stacks. I don't think that's reasonable. I'm going to go, outlandish here. That Matusz Majka will take pole position, and
he has form this season. Yeah,
he has form. He has the potential. Who are you calling for pole?
I'm going to go Lahtinen. I think. I'm going to go Lahtinen, I think. Just purely because I don't think they've shown their full hand in practice.
Well,
but I don't know very much, so.
Yeah, I don't know very much. We don't know very much, and I think our knowledge together combined would be less knowledge than us individually.
What an interesting thing to say. You're saying we don't add up to a good whole?
That's exactly what I'm saying when it comes to knowledge here. Zolt Schucks actually does say a purple first sector, and that is the purple first sector. So he does have some pace here as we are sliding onto the straight.
Where's it come from?
What do you mean, where's it come from?
He's obviously done lots of
putting in laps.
Yeah, lots of laps. Yeah, it's good.
Plenty of time, and let's see as he crosses the sector 2 line, just around this corner, whether he is actually carrying that pace in qualifying to 40.7, and again, that is the purple second sector. So Zolt Schucks with some magnificent pace here on the first set of laps in qualifying through the final corner, and I would be very surprised if he doesn't set a purple final sector and put himself provisionally on pole position. And it is a purple final sector for Schultz and a 31.715 to put him at the top of the timesheets. Aaron Vasquez 2.5 tenths behind. Luke Mitchell just shy 2 thousandths behind Aaron Vasquez. So Schultz with some immaculate pace for TTF here.
I'm very look at Scott Mitchell-Marm as well. He's had a couple of results in the top 10 in Superlights, but never he's never really been challenging the top 4, sort of 5 like he is today. So keep an eye on him. Jan Dragoon and Shingle both obviously boarding their laps back on out laps now. But yeah, Schultz then, a surprise for today by the looks of things. What a shock.
Yeah, it would seem that practice might be a good indicator. Of course, we do have probably about 3 more laps to do per driver. So there is always opportunity for other people to improve. But to have a margin that large at the start of qualifying, Schultz has clearly found something significant here to, find that time. Certainly has a bit of a rhythm, it would seem. And a 2-tenth gap to the nearest driver is big in qualifying, and is big compared to what we've seen in previous races where it's been less than a tenth between the top 5.
Yeah, whether that's... I'm just looking at Race View, which you can all do, race-view.com. I'm trying to spot if there's a top speed difference or something like that, but it doesn't seem to be. It's just quick. It's not like he's got a wildly different setup or loads of downforce that would maybe harm him in the race a little bit. It's he's just fast. His old jolt. But yeah, let's see what Jan Dragoon can do. Yet to set a time for Optiminal. He's got to get nearer 28 points, mid 28 or something in the first sector. So he's coming round towards that sector split now. 28.2, which is competitive. It's good. It's not obviously the outright fastest, which Schultz definitely has, but it's a couple of tenths off. So yeah, this will be solid. This could be top 10 material if he carries the lap on. Dragoon, we know, has potential for podiums and race wins. Driving for Optiminal this season. Coming down that back straight where you can have another dose of DRS. A reminder, we do have DRS in GPVWC, and we have limited it to 7 tenths, so it is a little more race friendly, and there's fewer race trains towards the second split now then, and he's a further 3.5 tenths down, so this will struggle to stay in the top 10 actually from Dragoon.
Yeah, Dragoon hasn't been the most fortunate of drivers, especially last time. In a couple of incidents that put him laps behind due to pit stops and whatever. So he is definitely looking to redeem himself for Optiminal. As he crosses the line, he does put it in the top 10. He puts it on 8th as we cut to Patrick Magnussen, who will abort his lap and go into the pit lane, yet to set a lap time. And this will be a trend we've seen with the KV86 driver, is that he tends to leave it until 1 lap, I've noticed. So Magnussen not leaving himself much of a margin and deciding not to set a banker, as we watch Marco Lucchini put himself on 17th for Santen Motorsports. And there's the delta that you sort of expect from Super League. The top 19 separated by less than a second, and if you want to think about it, it's from 2nd to 20th that's separated by less than a second. So there is some impressive pace going on here as we cut to Luke Mitchell, who has had a very competitive Sector 1, less than a tenth down on the session best time, as he heads through the final couple of corners in the second sector, a bit squirrely through the exit there, but as he finishes his second sector, he's actually down on his personal best time. So this might not be an improvement for the Kings Racing driver. of course, he has to find 2.5 temps somewhere if he wants to put himself on provisional pole.
Yeah, it's whether. Yeah, he's not going to complete the lap. I was going to say, when you're a couple of tenths down, it's whether or not you complete that lap or go straight back into the pits. It's obviously in GPVWC we have to complete the lap that we're on, and then we have to do an in lap back to the pit lane. It's a very deliberate action, makes it a little bit more realistic, I suppose. The King's Racing livery has also been slightly updated. This is Scott Mitchell-Mann, P5 for Scott.
Micah has taken pole.
Matej Micah, yes, has taken pole position as well from Foulkes by 300. And Micah already, as you say, earlier on, has a pole to his name. A Saracino now coming through the final couple of corners. And he set a purple first and a green middle. So, a bit squiggly on the exit, though, for Saracino. He can improve, though. And any sort of improvement should move him up the pack, which is given how close it is. But no. He stays P8. So threw it away in that final corner. Sorry.
My prediction for pole position, or my initial first joke prediction for pole position, Fabrizio Gobbi is actually in 6th right now, and he did set the fastest final sector. So it could still be on the table here as we watch Jorge Marquinez navigate the penultimate corner. I think, unless this is the penultimate corner and then this little, well, do we count that little curve there and that change gradient as another corner, or is that all just one corner?
Yes.
These are the important questions. Yes? Is it all just one corner?
Not officially, but does that matter?
Yeah.
What answer do you want here? I'll tell you what I think. I think it's one corner, but on official track maps, they, for whatever reason, have decided to make it 2. Don't know why.
Yeah, that is just one corner, isn't it? You know.
It is. Oh yeah, except on officially, so it's 2.
The officials are evidently wrong. Anyway,
I would say they're more likely to be right than our opinion.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
My opinion's always right.
Here's Magnussen. Let's see what he can do through Sector 1. You need a strong opening first sector because you spend a lot of time in slow corners there. You can't really catch the lap up after that. And the Sector 1 split is nice and early in the lap as well. It's a slow opening sector for Magnussen, so not there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this lap may be dead for Patrick Magnussen, and we will be finding him in the pit lane very soon. But here's his teammate nicely transitioning over to the other KV86, who's not that far behind in the first sector and navigating himself through the long sweeping left-hander that tightens into a hairpin. Onto the straight, a fairly decent exit, and now through another long sweeping left-hander, loses the rear, and quite significantly, I might add, and that's going to cost him plenty of time in that second sector. And I think for both KV86s, it will be into the pit lane. They go out for one final lap as we cut to Luke Mitchell, who had a purple second sector and does improve up to 3rd position, beating out now Aaron Vasquez, who has got a purple first sector, and he will be pulling into the pit lane because he didn't have a great second sector. But here's Foulkes then on his outlap, possibly rearing up to take that provisional pole back from Matej Micah. Here's Mirko Lucchini then for Santen through the final corners to the line. Let's see if he can improve on that 20th position. He does, and moves himself up to 14th, and that has drawn my eyes really to the 2 Apex Grand Prix cars who are 15th and 16th, almost nowhere near the front here.
Yeah, nowhere near, are they? They have been the closest challengers to Aaron Vasquez so far this season, and yeah, 5-6 tenths off. Well, 4 tenths off Vasquez and 6 tenths off the pole time so far from Micah. So yeah, loads of work to do. It looks like the kind of group of drivers that work together, Luke Mitchell, Scott Mitchell, so Optiminal, Kings, and Hyperion, they work together in SL2. Looks like they've got something going there, to be fair, doesn't it? Because there are plenty of drivers right up there. Though Pavel Andrzejewski, I wrote it down and I practiced it. Andrzejewski is down in 19th place. Here's Robin Merlin crossing the line, P24 for Team Rookie. There's only a couple of minutes left, so I expect people, if they haven't already, to be leaving the garage for their final outlap and, getting ready to start their final run.
There's Harry Smith moving up to 13th, placing his teammate down as well. Sandeep Singh down to 14th, who has been at the front on various occasions this season. Also seems to be struggling for pace in qualifying, but here's Giuseppe Saracino then for Team Shiba, purple in Sector 1. Not too bad in Sector 2 this time around, and this time he does have to make it work. No more opportunities unless he's fueled for 2 laps. Let's see, through the final corner then, what can the Team Shiba driver do? It looks good on the exit to the DRS line, rear wing open. Let's see, can he improve on 8th? Yes, he does, in fact, improve on 8th, up to 4th position for Team Shiba, and I think so far that's going to be one of their best qualifyings this season. Here's Federico Russo then for Santen as well, only a 10th down in the first sector. Lots of drivers then improving on their final laps here, Toby.
Yes, and as you'd expect, the track does ramp up conditions-wise. You do get more grip later on in the session. The rubber goes down, and people also warm up themselves a little bit. So you do get that benefit as well. We won't see Shooks again this session. He is firmly in the pit lane, as is Aaron Vasquez, who is also done for today. Taras and Mesa also in the pits. We saw Taras complete his lap and go P9. So yeah, plenty of work for some of them to do. But Micah, Mitchell, Saracino, they can all improve. They could all be fighting for pole over the next couple of minutes as Russo comes through the last corner. He's in a reasonable middle sector. Let's see if he can improve. He does, P13. And the Netrex are nowhere, are they? Netrex, Brame, Apex, that group of teams, absolutely nowhere today.
Yeah, it seems like they've struggled to figure out what's going on here at Bahrain. But here is the current pole sitters, teammate Paweł Andrzejewski, through towards the Sector 2 split. He hasn't done too badly in the first sector, not too bad in the second sector. It is still an improvement, but going out wide like that won't be helping his delta. And from 19th, you would be hoping to be higher up here with your teammate sitting on pole position. But through the final corner, let's see, can the Hyperion move from 19th up? Well, the answer is technically yes. He moves to 18th, but quickly Pascal Polenz there snuck into 17th. Here's Magnussen with a fairly good Sector 1 and Sector 2 towards the finish line. Only good enough for 18th. And just at the end there, Jan Dragoon moved himself up to 9th, and Micah crossing the line out of formality there. He did improve to a purple Sector 1, but couldn't do anything with it.
Unbelievable, that session. There's some massive shocks. Lartanen down in 21st is a huge shock, but here's the results. Matusz Micah taking pole position from Jolt Shooks, who looks very fast indeed at Bahrain. Luke Mitchell P3 for Kings, and Saracino behind in 4th. Aaron Vasquez then in 5th place with a bit of work to do if he wants to maintain his perfect record. Scott Mitchell Mum, my absolute driver of the session, P6 for Kings. Gobby, your choice, P7. Falconine 8th, Jan Dragoon 9th, and Oliver Taras sneaking into the top 10 for Apex. Lewis Mesa then for Brame in 11th with a Lorenzo de Cutis in 12th. Federico Russo in 13th place with a Netrex pair of Harry Smith and Sandeep Singh 14th and 15th. Those are the teams and cars that will have to use soft tyres at some point in this race. Behind them, Jorge Martinez, the first of the drivers who doesn't, Pascal Polenz as well in 17th. Patrick Magnussen in 18th place, Pavel Andrzejewski in 19th with Mirko Lucchini in 20th place. 21st goes to Jesse Lahtinen, and he'll be disappointed with that. Pablo Serrano 22nd. Daniel Scott for some reason twice. I don't think that's quite right. The Team Rookie Monsters with Robin Merling, Maxime Beaulieu, Ispan Shingle, Christian Malkarek, we didn't mention, in the Green Stripes in 27th, Justin Van der Schmissen in the Stacks in 28th, and James Knox 29th. Didn't set a lap. And that's it. We're missing one driver from the list. I assume it's the other Green Stripes, I think. Am I right?
Yes,
I think I'm right.
You are.
So there's only one Green Stripes car today, unfortunately for them. So let's see what happens. It is time for warm-up. And I really hope you guys are looking forward to this season as a whole. I certainly am. I enjoy doing commentary, and here are some of the best bits.
Inside a place of... On the next pretzels. Kelty seat, the coffee beanery, Tyrek.
Flat out. Oh no! Oh no! Who's round? It's Magnussen.
Oh, it's going to be a touch moment. It's in the barrier. Oh, they spun. Oh, this is a carnage.
And Menocon's
Oh
gonna
my
win.
God.
It's a double pass. Could they take each other off? They don't. And flag slide. It's a victory for the Tuties. They touch. They're now. Oh no!
Soriano's gone around and met the wall. Mitchell will go through. As they go uphill into turn 4. Oh, around the outside. What a fabulous move.
Frelick will use all of his as well. Here he comes. He makes a move. They touch. They run wide. And Munio's going to get it. We're going 3 wide. Look at
Sing.
contact. Oh, my goodness. Tyne has lost a wheel.
Time's out.
The dramatic race that we were teeing up the entire time has come to an end.
I'm still not fully sure I'm over that Yaltayan incident in Brazil, to be honest with you. It was very painful to watch as the THR team boss. But I'm here to talk today. Lucky for all of you, I suppose.
You are going to see that ad if you watch every single broadcast this season. You're going to see that ad at least 80 times.
Not true. Not true, because I'm going to... no, I'm going to make a new one.
You are going to play it... No.
I'm going to make a new one. Yeah, I'm going to make a new one. We can't watch the same advert over and over again all the time.
We have done for the past 3 years with the...
with the former sponsor of the league. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have a new one, actually, which is nice. So let's see if we can find their logo on the track side ads. I'm going to be a bit of a shill at the moment. If you... yeah, there you go. MV Conquest.
There's a bigger on the overhead.
And some more. If you want your advert on the side of the track, do get in touch with me, because it is something that supports the league. It's fairly passive advertising for you. We will mention it on the broadcasts, and to be honest with you, we do so many races that it's really good value for money. So if anyone has a company that they're involved in, or if you just simply want your name on the side of the track, just let me know. Drop me a DM. We can talk. Right, sun is setting in Bahrain. It's a lovely time of day to watch cars go around a track. It reminds me of pre-season testing, and yeah, we'll see what transpires in the race. There's a few different strategy options as well. I don't know if are you au fait with some of the strategy options that are available?
Well, I would assume that starting on the soft isn't very optimal here. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-stop. You're going to start probably on the mediums, go to softs, and then you can possibly get a set of mediums in at the end, or if you're feeling less optimistic, go to a set of hards, and to me a 2-stop is the most logical here.
Yeah, I think we'll most likely see quite a lot of 2-stops actually, although those further back could look at a medium hard for sure.
it is a viable possibility. Hard soft is also possible, or soft hard, although not particularly favourable, I've heard. Most likely we'll see some form of two-stop, I think, especially from the race winners. Pit delta is quite big though, but so is the tyre delta on brand new tyres. So could be a lot of overtaking. Could be a spicy old boy.
Yeah, that's the thing with the characteristic of the track being long sweeping corners for the most part, is that it will burn through tyres. So while a one-stop could be viable, it also becomes difficult for the driver that they're managing most of the time. That's where most of the tyre delta and the pit delta will be gained from on the people that are doing a two-stop, is from the tyre management that has to be done for a one-stop. So I think this is a battle of wits on what two-stop you go for, more than whether you're going to go for a one-stop or a two-stop. In my head, at least, that's how I would play it. I wouldn't be going for a one-stop here.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, to be fair. I do think that's quite likely. But we'll see. I mean, it's been known to be different as soon as we get into the race, and we thought we knew what we were doing, and then suddenly everything's changed again. So we'll see.
It could start raining for all we know.
What sort of rain?
Desert rain, sandstorm. You know,
Sandstorm.
Greece
Yeah,
is
could have a
Brit-
sandstorm.
Yep.
You wouldn't want realistic conditions in the Middle East right now, would you? Be something different raining down on you.
Fireworks.
Yes, fireworks. Let's go with that word. In the most dramatic way possible, Fabian just thumbs off. But anyway, it is a shame that the Formula 1 race isn't tying in with this, because we kind of plan our calendar around the F1 races as well, so that, you know, generate some interest in the league, and we can, you know, compare lap times with the actual races. And of course, there is no Bahrain Grand Prix, and there is no Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in real life. We do have them in GPVWC, but it's a little bit of a shame that they don't tie in with the actual calendar, I think.
I'm not quite sure why, but you going with that was like, there is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy. That was the scene that came to my head there. As you were going, there is no Bahrain Grand Prix.
There definitely is a Easter Bunny, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. And a Tooth Fairy. Both get money.
I used to not get any money, actually, so...
Oh, that's so sad. Why not?
I don't know. Why
when your teeth fell out, did you put them under your pillow and hope, and then didn't get any? That's such a sad image I have. I hope you I don't know. I hope your teeth fall out and the Tooth Fairy comes out to you.
Yeah. Incredible. What is going on with... Oh, I realise what's just happened. The lights have come on the track.
Yeah.
I was wondering why all of a sudden the car had just, you know, become fluorescent.
Let there be light.
And there was. It seems a bit useless to have the track lights on right now.
Yeah, but give it a couple of minutes.
Oh,
literally.
say so.
It'll be stunning in a couple of minutes.
It'll be dark. Well, it won't be dark, because I think we do the trick of starting the race at sunset, like the real thing does.
Yeah, the time isn't going to change very much between this session and the next, basically. So this is kind of what it'll be. If not,
just be a night race. Are we not going to do the cool, you know, where it teleports time? And cause that's what we did between qualifying and warm up. Qualifying was at daytime, and now it's not daytime.
It doesn't tell. I don't think it'll teleport too much between sessions. I mean, we'll find out, won't we?
This is the expert analysis you come and watch GPVWC Superlights for.
I mean, I can, yeah. I don't know actually what the track will look like as we get to race. Well, I know what it'll look like, the exact same. It'll just be the lighting will be a slightly different, you know.
Yep. Well, I'd be worried if it changed between now and the race. That would be...
What, the track? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Especially with like tracks like this where there's multiple layout options. Just the FIA just goes, oh yeah,
coming off a corner or something.
They're just literally just. Lads, by the way, we're doing the outer loop one. There's like an endurance. Woo! Round we go. There's like an endurance one, isn't there?
Yes, but it is absolutely abysmal if you've ever driven it.
I think they did like one F1 race there, and it was totally rubbish, like 2011-ish.
That sounds. I think it was the earlier races that they did the endurance layout, and then quickly realized it was
Bahrain endurance layout. F1.
It will have been like 2000 and
2010, one race.
One race at that track.
And it pulls off to the right about now, I think it used to. And there was a whole different...
Yeah, but it was all just a load of nonsense technical bit.
It's literally only there so that they can get more cars on the track. For like, it's literally called
The endurance layout for that reason. You know, you can get Le Mans style race entry numbers when you've got more track to play with, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
Still a rubbish layout. Oh, Will Panisi's watching. He said 2010. He was probably there.
...2010.
Don't
That
stop.
was an interesting year for...
I was 19.
For
Don't
F1.
stop. It was an interesting year for F1. The Bridgestone tyre contract was running out, so they made the tyres really, really hard to like increase the performance of them. Like you kept adding downforce and they wouldn't go any faster. It was a weird season. But you had that 2010 Canadian Grand Prix where the sort of resurfacing of Montreal meant the tyres fell apart completely. It was a wild race, and that's what Pirelli based their tyre life stuff off. But the problem is the teams all cottoned onto it, and they realised that you had to sort of underdrive the car, whereas obviously the 2010 Canadian Grand Prix, they didn't know that they would all fall apart, right? So no one gave them the instruction to underdrive. So then you ended up with what we have now, which is
Teams and drivers going 4 or 5 seconds a lap slower because as soon as they push, the tyres fall apart. It's rubbish.
We don't have that problem, fortunately, because we don't abide the laws of physics. It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, it's not fun to drive like that either. Like you can implement it into R-Factor 2, but it's just boring. And people want to push a bit harder. So the tyres in Superlights and Super League especially are designed a little bit more towards, yes, you can't like throw the car around and slide and stuff like that, but it's definitely geared more towards pushing than not. So. Right, end of the session then. We are coming up towards the start of the race. And Alex, I'm going to ask you before we get into it, what do you think will happen? Who do you think is going to be the victor?
Well, meant to what do I think will happen? A race will happen, and the victor will be... I'm gonna throw Luke Mitchell in the mix. We'll go
that is out there. I love that. Nice left field decision. Good stuff.
Who do I think?
Well, Luke Mitchell was P3 in practice, by the way, just then. I'm gonna go with Micah. I think Micah. I know it's boring. He is on pole, but I do think Micah challenged Aaron Vasquez for a long time at the start of the Australian Grand Prix, and certainly could easily have got the victory himself. So let's see what happens. The race is 47 laps long. It's plenty of time for things to happen, and it's coming up next. I hope you're as excited as I am. I'd quite like it if the drivers didn't leave it until the last possible minute to join the grid. Because the whole purpose of that little video is to stop us watching the cars all pop in, but there we are. Welcome, if you have just joined, to the beginning of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Round 3 of the Superlights Championship. All the cars are joining the grid now, literally till the last possible second. And you have got Micah on your right and Foulkes on your left. The formation lap is now underway. And Alex, perhaps you'd like to take us through the runners and riders for this one.
Well, I will. It's Mateusz Micah then who takes pole position, followed by Foulkes in second. Luke Mitchell and Giuseppe Saracino line up on the second row. Then Aaron Vasquez, the current championship sitter, in 5th. Scott Mitchell-Marm starts 6th. Fabrizio Gobbi starts 7th. And Michael Falkenhayn starts 8th. Jan Dragoon then in 9th with Oliver Trask behind him 10th. And then it's Luis Mesa and Lorenzo De Choitis in the 6th row. Federico Russo starts 13th with the 2 Netrex GP behind him, Harry Smith and Sandeep Singh, with Jorge Marquinez starting 16th. Then it's the 2 KB86 cars of Pascal Polenz and Patrick Magnussen 17th and 18th, with Paweł Andrzejewski 19th and Mirko Lucchini starting 20th. Lahtinen down in 21st with Pablo Serrano behind him. Robin Moiling starts 23rd with Maxime Beaulieu 24th. Istvan Shingle starts 25th with Christian Malsharek with Green Stripes 26th. Justin van der Smissen 27th and James Knox 28th. And we are missing Daniel Scott, actually, as well.
Are we? Yeah, we're missing Daniel Scott as well, who mysteriously had 2 of him. He cloned himself in qualifying results, so something's obviously gone wrong with Daniel, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest with you, because yeah, it's good to have a full contingent on the grid, and sad to be missing one. Oh, actually 2 now. Starting choices then. Foulkes has gone hards. Mediums for everyone else in the top 7. An interesting choice from Falkenhayn on the softs as well. And Jan Dragunen on the hards. Keep an eye out for those hard runners, because they could stretch this to a 1-stop, whereas I suspect most of the top 7 will try to do a 2-stop. So let's keep an eye on that. Right, the last couple of drivers then, lining up on the back couple of rows. I'm going Micah. Alex is going Luke Mitchell. Let's see what happens as the lights are about to come on for the start of round 3 of the Superlights 2026 season. Being held for an awfully long time on the grid. Here we go then. So, you can see the lights on the left. We're on board with Mateusz Micah. There's 3 of them. There's 4. Now 5. And we're underway at Bahrain. A good getaway for Micah, actually. He's easily going to clear Foulkes down into turn 1. And actually, Luke Mitchell challenging on the outside of the TTF driver as they sweep round into the right-hander. There's some drama further back. And we're 3 wide through turn 2 as well. There's some more nonsense going on. I think that's one of the Hyperions in the back. Well, it must be Pavel rather than Micah, as Foulkes does hold on to P2. And Scott Mitchell-Marm is struggling with the rear end of his King's car. I wonder if he picked up a tiny bit of damage in that turn 1 incident. And Vasquez then in P4. And Mitchell's going through into P2 as well on the timing tower. And yeah, there's a lot of nonsense that happened through those first couple of corners, Alex.
Yeah, well, I saw, I think it was Andrzejewski actually, who got turned around just before we got to the first corner. And that's, of course, why he is in 25th. And there goes one of the PZZW cars of Pablo Serrano around and puts him dead last. In fact, not dead last. Federico Russo has had an incident of his own. Magnussen and Polenz have moved themselves up a couple of positions on the start, getting past Sandeep Singh, who hasn't had the greatest of first laps. Harry Smith, alternatively, has managed to gain a couple of positions for Netrek, so it about evens out. Saracino has had a great start, but here goes Gobby down the inside for Stacks. There's a bit of contact on the exit there, but Gobby does move himself up to 5th, and here comes Scott Mitchell-Marm then along the straight, alongside that Sheba racing car, and into turn 1. Mitchell-Marm struggling with the straight line speed, in fact might just lose out to Luis Mesa here through turn 2, close on the inside, just stays ahead of Mesa, but here he comes down the inside into turn 3, later on the brakes than Mitchell. In fact, no, he isn't. About the same through turn 3 they go into the chicane. Mesa wise to tuck in behind the Kings Racing car for now.
Yeah, Mesa, of course, on those soft compound tyres, trying to get past the medium shod Kings car of Mitchell-Marm. He will want to do so and use those soft tyres, make his way towards the front of the pack, but it's just not working right now for the Bahrain GP driver. So interestingly, Mitchell then getting past Shucks and has gapped him as well. Micah, though, 1.8 seconds to the good in the lead of the race right now. It's looking very, very handy for the Hyperion driver. Let's see what he can do. Mitchell then chasing after him for Kings.
Yeah, Mitchell's put himself in a fairly good position here to just sit behind Micah and chase him. It's a strategy we've seen used by many drivers. So this might play out, it might not. 45 laps. Moves to 44 laps ahead of us as Maciej Micah sets the fastest lap. Harry Smith gets past Jan Dragoon into the final corner, and Oliver Taras is under pressure from Michael Falkenhayn into turn 1 and loses a position to Falkenhayn. Down to 12th goes the Apex Grand Prix car. Harry Smith a bit wide through turn 1. In fact, he's been passed by Jan Dragoon, and in the background that's Justin van der Smissen, I think, for Stacks, who has gone round. No, it's Mirko Lucchini for Santen, who has no front wing. And possibly he will be joining the 2 retirements so far. Although I think he'll nurse this back to the pit lane. Here's Harry Smith then in 10th, right in the middle of a very fierce battle. In fact, there's not much of a gap from 5th all the way back to 16th of Sandeep Singh. So all these cars are currently in a little bit of a train as we enter the first lap of DRS. We'll start to see some passes being made down the straight without the help of the overtake button and without the help of just pure straight line speed. And this is where it'll start to get interesting, and the deltas between all the cars will start to matter a whole lot more.
Yeah, Aaron Vasquez has got by George Shucks for P3 as well, so it's now he's making progress, isn't he? And he's already got outside of that 7/10 DRS range. A reminder that it's not a second this season, it is 7/10. Micah, another personal best, another fastest lap of the race. It's looking very, very good, isn't it, up front for him? He's only in fact, Vasquez has taken it back straight away, so Vasquez is on the prowl. He's making progress towards the front, but he also has Gobby behind him, who's just taken Zsolt Shucks for P4 as well. And Shucks has fallen back a little bit. I wonder if his setup, he looked very fast in practice and qualifying. I wonder if it was just entirely a qualifying setup, because he just doesn't seem to have that pace in the race. Although he is on the hard compound tyre. So let's see if that pays him back later on. Taras in 14th. And Lartinen down in 23rd. Apex are having a bit of a horror show today.
Yeah, Taras not with the greatest of starts, it could be said. And the same could be said for Lartinen, who is definitely struggling further back. But I think Vasquez here has actually put in some very impressive pace at the front to get himself into 3rd position as we cut to Saracino just behind Zsolt Shucks. The medium... hard, soft, all on your screen. Soft, medium, hard, I should say. No. Medium, soft, medium, hard. Ascending order. Mesa, Saracino, and Shux. There you go. On the timing screen, helping me actually look properly. Yeah, I think Shux here is actually struggling with pace, mostly due to being on those hard tires and being surrounded by medium and soft runners, more than not having the pace due to the setup. So I think potentially for Shux, he is going to be playing the long game as Gobby sets a personal best first sector, but there goes Saracino past the TTF racing car for Team Shiba, up to 5th once more.
Already we can see that there's going to be plenty more overtaking opportunities than we saw at Suzuka. People using that turn 1 DRS and battery zone, if you like, to really go for it and then defend using their battery again into turn 3. A reminder that you can recharge your batteries, not anything like Formula 1's nonsense. It's much more like 20% of the power rather than 50%, which is much more sensible for using it as a reasonable tool to attack and defend, but it's something you still need to be mindful of. Make sure that you do have enough charge, especially as we get towards the middle and later parts of the race. You can recover it in braking zones, well, by being off throttle is actually how it charges. But yeah, very interesting opening start of the race. Vasquez now 5/10 behind Mitchell, is closing in on the King's Racing driver. And he is looking very, very quick at the moment, actually. And the last couple of laps has been faster than Mateusz Majka out front. So it's not game over yet, is it? Oh, we've got some replays of the start. I want to see what happened to at the first corner, because there was some spinny people at that first corner. So let's see what happened to Andrzej Zajewski first. Oh, did he get tagged or did he lose it by himself?
I think he locked the rear brakes there. If we go on board here.
Well, we need to go on board with the car behind, don't we?
Oh.
Let's see.
He just locks the rear brakes. He must do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all by himself. How strange. That is not what I thought happened at all.
And from
then, of course,
nowhere near. Just has a car in front of him. And has nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Yeah, nowhere to go at all. And Lahtinen, I suspect, has quite heavy damage as a result of that. This is what happened to Shingle then. So he will have seen that car spinning, gone to the right. Okay.
You can't do that, really. I know you're avoiding an incident, but you can't do that.
You can a bit, but not like... I mean, I don't know. That's seemed quite extreme. This is what happened to Russo then, who was missing a front wing, wasn't he? Oh, that was just a bit... Oh, hello. Engine's dead. Oh, it's his teammate, wasn't it, who lost the front wing?
I know what he's done here. He's put it into neutral. No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. It's just gone.
What? How did that happen? I've never seen that effect on any car before. Here's Serrano then at the PZW and just touches the Rookie Monsters car and gets spun round.
That's on him. Last one then. Yeah, last one. Oh, another engine gone. Oh,
why are they blowing up? What's going on?
Because they're just running the cooling too tight. You have to check it in dirty air. And it's just not happened, does it? So Vasquez then has got by Mitchell, I believe, for P2. This is on the start-finish straight, so this is just whilst we were watching the lap 1 replays. Fairly conventional overtake, I would say. And Vasquez moves into P2, and Aaron now sets about Mateusz Majka. And let's see whether Majka can hold on to the lead or not. In terms of lap times, actually, it's Majka now who has just about edged it, although Vasquez presumably was held up a little bit by Mitchell in that last couple of sectors on the previous lap. And through the first sector, actually, Vasquez, DRS assisted, has set a purple first sector, and has, in fact, he's a couple of tenths faster than Majka through the middle as well. So it's going to be a long old race for Mateusz, isn't it? If you've got Aaron Vasquez slowly creeping up towards your rear wing. Scott Mitchell-Malm then He's strongly running in the top 10. I want to go on board with Mitchell Malm because he did make some contact on that first corner. Just want to see if that steering wheel is straight for him, because it can really affect your pace if you've just got a little bit of the wheel askew. Although he seems to be doing fairly well. He's going to make a move on Schultz. Through he goes up into 7th place. It's a very strong showing from King so far for them.
Yeah, and that hard tyre once more falls a couple of positions behind, and in fact will fall another to Harry Smith by the looks of things. Tries the outside, isn't able to get it done just yet, but it is coming for the TTF driver. Oh, it might not be coming as Harry Smith loses the rear end through that chicane. Interestingly, looking at the front, I think Aaron Vasquez is right in his element here. Exactly where he wants to be, and it's sort of where he excels. This little push phase to try and get himself in the battle for the lead is exactly what Aaron is best at. So I expect that battle will be developing in the next couple of laps, if not even sooner, as we're still on board with Harry Smith behind Schultz. Not much has changed along that second DRS straight, and looking at this onboard, it seems like the rear end of this Nectrex car really isn't gripping at all.
No, and they really struggled in qualifying for pace as well, didn't they? So I couldn't tell you exactly what's happened there, other than to say it's they just don't have the pace they had the last couple of rounds. And we do know they work with the Apex team as well, and they too have struggled this round. So perhaps that group just doesn't seem to have quite the same setup that other teams do. As Mitchell Malm came off the curb or something happened, he nearly lost the rear end then as we went into turn 1. He did say in a chat that I'm involved in that, whoa, as Harry Smith nearly takes out Schultz, loses the rear end, he's going to have to hold on to that, and does, just in front of Jan Dragoon, but that was very close to completely taking out Schultz.
Yeah, and he's either completely overcooked the rears here, or he's definitely struggling with maybe brake bias, maybe something else. We have a yellow in Sector 2, I believe, for Istvan Shingle, who's fallen many positions behind.
Not sure what's happened there. Yeah, not quite having the same race his teammate is he? But what I was going to say, sorry, is that Scott said, and I quote, "I've got a nosebleed." Presumably from being this far up the grid. Anyway.
Incredible story. Either way, here's Giuseppe Saracino behind Fabrizio Gobbi. Shiba versus Stax. That's sibilance. And it's definitely some good racing coming into turn 1. Shiba car with the DRS open. Not close enough to try and make a move. Look at that gap between Vasquez and Micah. 1.5 seconds it's gone down to now. So the Hyperion driver will definitely be feeling the pressure. I just want to go back to Andrzejewski and his lap 1 incident and what we saw with Scott Mitchell-Malm last lap. I think that outside curb is absolutely lethal to be braking on. I think that's mainly the cause of what happened for Powell, as we certainly watched James Knox go down the inside of Robin Moyling and almost made the move stick, but went a bit too far. And unfortunately for the Fusion racing car, he'll have to stay in second for the time, 20th for the time being.
Yes, I think he'd like to be in second, but not happening today. For Fusion, 20th and 21st they are right now, and they had a couple of race wins, or a race win last season with Lucas Murno driving for them before he moved elsewhere to True North. But yeah, they certainly can perform Fusion, but not quite happening for them this season so far. It's also not quite happened today for Sandeep Singh, our FS2 champion from last season. He's down there in 16th place, currently not scoring a point. And if you remember, the Netrex duos were 14th and 15th. They have to use the soft tyre at some point during the race. So yeah, he's going to be struggling to recover that position if the race goes on like it is at the moment. Falkenhayn, though, battling away still with Zsolt Schuks, whose hard tyres just haven't worked, have they, today, you would say. It's just not happening for those hard runners right now. And the medium tyre does look to be the one to be on. It's just whether or not it's going to be paying them back if they can do a one stop. And we should start talking about strategy fairly soon. I think those on soft tyres will start to think about pitting in the next lap or two. Given that we still have, 35 laps to go after this. By the way, look where Vasquez is. 5 tenths back of Mike. He's now within DRS range. This could be very, very simple.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, this is either going to be an absolutely monumental battle between the Hyperion and Optiminal cars, or it is going to be an open and shut case for Aaron Vasquez with a DRS pass down the main straight. If he's even in DRS range by the time we get there, he will be, but only just 6 tenths. Oh, he might be outside through the final corner. Let's see. Will that rear wing open? It will for Aaron Vasquez as we head onto the main straight. I don't think he's going to be pushing particularly hard for a pass here. He just needs to bide his time and try and make the move in the next couple of laps, constantly decreasing that gap between himself and the Hyperion car. And Micah will definitely be feeling the pressure of seeing that blue Optiminal livery in his mirrors and certainly approaching through the braking zone as Falkenhayn, the battle we were watching further back, is still going away with Zsolt Schuks. And outside in turn 3 is Falkenhayn, and on the curb he is losing it, manages to recover fairly nicely, only loses a position to Harry Smith, but it seems... Oh, there's a Brem GP off in the background. That's Jorge Marquinez, who has
big time
gone into the wall, and that is a monumental wreck for Brem GP.
Well, what happened? Why is the question, isn't it? What's happened to Marquinez? Let's find out. So he's going into turn 3. All looks fairly ordinary. He's going to lose it on traction. Yep. Oh, that is a big impact. And very similar to what happened to Aaron Vasquez in Super League in Australia, actually, where it sort of bottomed out on the curb following another car and slammed him into the wall. So game over for Brame, for that particular car at least. We do still have another car in the race. In Luis Mesa in 6th place. Now, is Vasquez deliberately holding back here? Is he working with Micah? Is he trying to save battery? What's the story here? Why would Vasquez quite quickly catch Micah and then not go past him?
I feel like this is certainly a strategy. Of course, we know that Hyperion and Optiminal do work together. There is a massive yellow in Sector 2 that's been holding up for a while. But based on, well, what I've seen, Vasquez has had a couple of opportunities now to get past Micah, but it seems like Micah's now holding him up and sort of backing him in to Luke Mitchell, who's gained about a second due to these two being in such close proximity. So this might not be the smartest of plays. In fact, Luke Mitchell is gaining massively. He's gained 2 tenths in just that first sector alone. So Mitchell could be bringing himself into this fight here, almost as an unintended consequence, I would imagine, of Vasquez staying behind here. And Mitchell, with the clean air, will just be able to catch up on these two. So Mitchell's bringing himself into it. As
is Gobby, by the way.
So Gobby, sorry, just to point that out, Gobby's matched Mitchell as well. They're both
4 tenths faster than Micah.
Yeah, and look at this. Look at how close Mitchell is here. So Vasquez, I can imagine, is almost certainly going to go for the move on the straight here. Or is he? Because look at how close Mitchell is. Look at how close Vasquez is. He's certainly not going for the move, although he will here.
Whoa!
There is contact between Micah and Vasquez, but not enough. That was quite a late move to try and defend
it's
that.
Not over.
for Shriver. It's certainly not over. Micah now will have DRS then. Oh no, Vasquez has DRS into turn 3, but Micah will not be able to make anything of it. But Vasquez seems to have made a little bit of a mistake there, braking from the middle, but Micah struggling with the traction towards the chicane. Will have to settle for just behind the optimal car. But Luke Mitchell now is in DRS range, or almost is in DRS range, and gets involved with this fight here. So this is something that these two at the front need to be very mindful of, and Micah could potentially be going for a move out of this hairpin. Didn't get the greatest of exits, but will use a little bit of the overtake button here, I'll imagine, to stay within DRS range of Aaron Vasquez. And through the final sector, we'll be looking to close that gap ever so slowly to try and make a move exactly as Vasquez did this time. And Mitchell is falling back a little bit, but I would very much consider him to still be in the fight for the lead, as Micah goes well off the track there, and in fact might fall out of DRS range through the final corner.
Yeah, it's going to be about that. That is going to be key for Vasquez. If he wants to get away, it's just breaking that DRS. He didn't manage it this lap. Now, who has the battery? Did Micah burn all of his on the previous attempt by Vasquez to defend? It's a double DRS zone, which is why Micah did not have DRS last time round. He will have it this time round. He needs a strong exit from 2. Through 3 we go then, and down towards turn 4. It looked like Vasquez was just a little bit better on traction through there. And Micah's going to run out of straight with the DRS open, and Vasquez doesn't defend thinner and does a good job. Through turn 4 we go, and into 5 and 6. But Mitchell, as you say, Mitchell has dropped back quite a lot in just that first sector. I'm not sure exactly whether it was just because the leading 2 were just dumping their battery to try and stay ahead of one another. But he's best part of he's second worse off than what he was, as Harry Smith goes side by side with Zolt Shooks now, and Shooks back down the inside here. And if he's got the overlap, no, he doesn't. Smith loses the overlap. So I was going to say, if he has the overlap, he should be able to claim the corner, but unable to do so. And Shooks recovers and is in 8th place, but they've completely lost touch with Mitchell Malm, who is sitting quite nicely in a world of his own in P7. As we must be thinking about Falkenhayn making a pit stop shortly. Anyone on those soft compound tyres, they must be thinking about the pit lane within the next lap or 2, surely.
I mean, just look at how much he's scrubbing through all these corners compared to the amount of, input that the Netrex and the TTF in front of him are putting in. So yeah, Falkenhayn will definitely be considering coming into the pit lane on those soft tyres. It's about where the hard and the soft tyres will start to even out on pace, and the soft and medium tyres will be about even on pace now. So it certainly is a critical point in this race, as Harry Smith closes the gap but won't go for a move on Zolt Shooks, who is still on those hard tyres, and I wonder how long he'll take them out to and what he'll go on to. He does, of course, have to take the soft tyres, so how long is he going to take those hards?
That's the big question, isn't it? Like, where do you cut your losses on them, really? Because they're clearly not that quick. Shooks, I remind you, was very close to taking pole in qualifying, and what is he now? He's 14 seconds off the lead of the race, best part of a second a lap slower than Vasquez and Micah have been. So, yeah, do you extend and try to get away with a 1-stop? He's going to lose a pit stop into overall, isn't he? By the time we get there, it's 24 seconds or something like that for a pit stop. Is he going to be able to save that by 1-stopping? I don't think so. It looks like a 2-stop is going to be quicker.
Yeah, he's currently 14 seconds behind, so he's got 10 seconds to lose somewhere. And I think he will, compared to when everyone else has come into the pit lane and getting their brand new boots on, new mediums, new softs, whatever. He will quickly lose those 10 seconds compared to old hard. So it seems like the 2-stop is absolutely what you wanted to be going for. As Harry Smith peels into the pit lane, so does Michael Falkenhayn. So Falkenhayn made good use of those soft tyres. Not so much for Harry Smith with those medium tyres, but I think with the push that he had to make to try and recover a couple of positions. I think he's put quite a bit of wear on those mediums. Now, let's see. Falkenhayn goes onto the hards. Smith will move on to another set of mediums potentially here.
Yeah, we have to be a little careful that it's not just taking a minute to update. It does say on race view that he's still on medium, so usually that's an indicator that he is, but set of hards then going on Falkenhayn's car. That is interesting. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, I think this might not be the smartest of moves for Falkenhayn, because we've already established with Zoltschuk's that the hards don't really have an advantage at any point during the stint. So I think this might have been slightly miscalculated by PZW. Whereas Harry Smith, who obviously now is going for a medium soft run, will definitely have the pace advantage compared to Falkenhayn on hards, and the first part of that will be now. And these two are right behind each other coming into the pit lane.
Mitchell boxes.
Grown. Mitchell off the medium tires. Has anyone followed in? Doesn't look like it. So this will be our benchmark, really. He was just about 2 seconds behind Micah. Let's see where everyone else is in comparison to
Softs.
him. And Mitchell Martin passing blends in the pit lane.
They've timed this well. Look at this double stacking from Kings. Perfect timing. They obviously worked out that they had enough gap between them. And set of softs, both of them. So they're going to go for a 2-stop for sure. Are they going soft, or are they going medium, soft, hard? As Magnussen, he's almost off the track there. Not much room being given to him, but he had to go off track almost to get by Sandeep Singh, who is still defending like it's the final lap of the race for the lead, but Magnussen unable to get through then. Singh does hold on. As Magnussen sends it down the inside, that was a good move. And Singh and Magnussen make contact then as we head towards the downhill double left. Magnussen does make his way through, takes the position, and moves up to P9 ahead of Sandeep Singh. And Singh, as we know, still on those hard compound tyres from the start of the race, and is hoping, presumably, to make a one-stop really work here. But has now been overtaken by Magnussen, who himself is still on those medium tyres, I believe, that he's had on since the start of the race as well. So, those two now kind of with one another, as Micah says that his mediums have had enough, time for some softs, and Vasquez will lead another lap, extending his medium stint nicely. He did do some tyre saving then behind Micah. I think that was his plan by the looks of things.
Yeah, and I think looking at Magnussen, his plan there was to try and get a push going just before he comes into the pit lane. He will probably be switching to another set of medium tyres. Maciej Micah then comes out on the softs, as we mentioned. Jan Dragoon came into the pit lane and will come out just behind Harry Smith. In fact, just behind Falkenhayn. It'll be close on the exit here. In fact, it'll be side by side on the exit, almost. And, you know, Dragoon has managed to stay provisionally about 10th, I reckon, there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Dragoon on those hard tyres, he's come in on lap 19. Then here's Singh then. And look at the gap between Micah and Mitchell. It's really come down now that Micah couldn't clear these two cars. This is playing nicely into Aaron Vasquez's hands, actually, that these guys could not clear De Chutis and Singh. We're looking at Micah now trying to take Lorenzo. He's going to make a move down the inside. Is De Chutis going to give him room? Yes, he is. Runs a little bit wide as well. Mitchell then. Will Mitchell get held up here? He doesn't want to be, because he'll lose touch with Micah if he's not careful. Trying to do a switch back. Nope. He's going to have to wait for the start-finish straight then. And this is costing Mitchell a little bit, but it's certainly costing himself and Micah versus Vasquez, who now boxes. And this is key, isn't it? For overall strategy, this is key. What does Vasquez do? He also goes softs. So matching the strategy of the two guys he's fighting now. As Vasquez comes out of the pit lane, I want to see what happens on the exit. Will he retain the lead of the race? Oh, easily. Easily.
Yeah, it's quite a comfortable margin out of the pit lane, and no doubt helped by Sandeep Singh and Lorenzo De Troitis in the Netrex and Shiba cars, certainly holding up Micah a little bit, but the gap isn't as big as I was expecting it to be. It's only about 1.6 between Vasquez and Micah, and Mitchell seems to be struggling behind Sandeep Singh. So this is going to be a very interesting race in terms of Micah being on the warmed up tires and just one lap older softs. Can he make the most of it now to try and, you know, close that gap to Vasquez? And he certainly is. He's down to just over a second. So that's good for Micah, really.
Yeah, but what's happened is, because that tyre delta will just pay Vasquez back now, Micah needs to get inside DRS and then just chill behind Vasquez and try and catch that tyre delta up if he can. That's what he's got to do over the next couple of laps. And Vasquez equally will be doing everything he can to make sure that Micah stays outside of DRS. And this has really cost Mitchell. Look at the gap between Micah and Mitchell now. This is the best part of 3 seconds that he's lost, stuck behind Sandeep Singh for half a lap, and that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, you have to get track position. You have to get that pit stop done and make sure you're you know, in some clear air. As finally Mitchell's going to go by Singh on the straight. Singh's just running his own race, by the way. There's nothing wrong with what he was doing. He was fighting more with De Troitis, wasn't he, and Magnussen earlier. But yeah, it's cost Mitchell. It's cost Mitchell the chance to be up with those front two, and I think they'll probably now battle it out for the race win. But Vasquez, look, he's 1.4 ahead of Micah. Ooh, as we watch Falkenhayn side by side with Andrzejewski, but the Polish driver makes the move, takes the position, and now is behind Pascal Polens for 16th.
Yeah, but we can't forget this isn't 16th, strictly speaking. Of course, Sandeep Singh and Lorenzo De Troitis on the hard tyres still yet to pit, and I think no, Saracino and Gobby are on the same set of tyres. Gobby's just come out of the pit lane from a set of hards, now on a set of softs. Of course, he is required to come out on those soft tyres at least once, and the same will go for this man here, Zsolt Schuks, who I think might have misplayed this, especially considering he has to go onto the softs at some point. He'll be, you know, riding those hard tyres easily into lap 30 as Oliver Taras then pulls into the pit lane off a set of medium tyres. He was second as he entered the pit lane. Let's see just about where he comes out. He was fighting for 12 with Pascal Polens, Magnussen, Harry Smith, and that's, you know, he's lost quite a bit of time there actually due to the undercut. He's going to come out behind his teammate here.
Yes, he is. Quite some distance behind as well, and in fact, yeah, he's only just ahead, look, of Andrzejewski.
So he's lost well over 6 seconds due to the undercut there, based on Harry Smith.
Around the outside, by the way.
What a move.
What a move that was. Late braking, round the outside, and steals the position. And yeah, Taras is only just ahead of the Hyperion of Andrzejewski, who can now see points. It was looking a little bleak, wasn't it, earlier on? But he's pitted, he's on those soft tyres now, and he's making progress against those who are, I guess, trying to one-stop around him. Singh's still going, by the way, on those hard tyres. He's just been overtaken by Saracino. Look for P5. I don't know. I can't see it working, the one-stop today. It just
the hard tyres just don't have enough pace.
Singh is doing mid 32s, and Aaron Vasquez just did a low 34, mid 32s, mid 36s, and Vasquez just did a low 34. Just not working, is it? And he's only just halfway through the race. I failed to see how he can get to the end from here on a set of mediums, and he's still probably got another, what, 5 or 6 laps to do on those tyres? 2 seconds off the pace? I mean, it's almost a pit stop. It's almost half a pit stop in just those few laps.
And this is exactly what I was saying with Zsolt Schuks. If he wants to take a set of softs to the end, he'll have to do 7 more laps potentially on these hards just to get within a reasonable range for the soft tires, which would be 17 laps on soft, which is absolutely a stretch. As we're on board with Saracino behind Govi, 2 soft runners. They've come into the pit lane, and they are running in pretty much their true positions, waiting for Foulkes to come into the pit lane. This is... I have to say that the hard tyre was not the tyre to start on, and the one stop is certainly not the strategy to go for, especially if you're starting in the top 15 and have to go onto the soft tyres at least once. Starting in the top 15 pretty much forces you onto a 2-stop, really.
Yeah, I think the person who did it right was Dragoon. He realised that it wasn't going to work, went to the soft tyres, and I think you'll find he easily claws back the time he loses by the end of the race. He's also in the mid 34s. Again, Sandeep Singh just a 37.1. Foulkes is in the mid 36s, to be fair. Let's see what he does as he crosses the line this time around. Yeah, 36.3 for Foulkes. So it's not horrendous, but it's still 2 seconds a lap slower than the cars behind you. And presumably you'll be slower again because you've got to pit earlier to do a longer final stint. So yeah, it was a 2-stop race all day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't see this playing out for Foulkes here. A great qualifying, but I think he's certainly messed up the strategy. And like you said earlier on, for Foulkes, when does he cut his losses with the hards? I would say around about now is where he should just admit, you know, if I come into the pit lane, I'll come out maybe 14th, and then I'm sort of forced onto a 2-stop, because there's no way, absolutely no way now that once he's passed by Vasquez, it's any hope of a high position.
No, although Vasquez only just made up the pit stop right now, but it's still going to be... There's still another 4 laps or something that Foulkes has to do. So he's going to be maybe 6 seconds down the road from Vasquez. And then we'll have to pit before Vasquez has to make his final stop. So, yeah, it's just not going to work, unfortunately.
Either way, we've spoken enough about strategy. Here's a bit of racing. Vasquez behind Foulkes. I can't imagine Foulkes making this a particularly difficult overtake if he does decide to go for it down into turn 1. Old hard tyres versus pretty much brand new softs to the inside in turn 1, and that is a textbook maneuver by Vasquez. He does pull himself into the lead. Aaron Vasquez first, followed by Foulkes, and then Micah in third, with Luke Mitchell not too far behind, certainly still in striking distance if he decides to push at some point during this race. Harry Smith made the move on Scott Mitchell-Marm, and Pascal Polenz is battling away further back with Falkenhayn. Here's the battle between Mitchell-Marm and Harry Smith. Nothing much has come of that.
Mitchell-Marm, I think, got quite held up by traffic out the pits, didn't he, by the looks of things, because he's lost quite a bit of time in this stint to his brother and teammate, who is now running P4, 5 seconds behind the lead. I don't think Mitchell-Marm was that far back from Luke. So yeah, he's lost a bit of time in that stint. But Harry Smith, now on the softs, suddenly that car's come alive, isn't it? He's moved past Scott Mitchell-Marm. He's now catching De Chutis in front of him, and Sandeep Singh, by the way, is literally 2 seconds ahead of Harry Smith, who's made a pit stop.
Yeah, and that just shows how easy, I wouldn't say easy, but how recoverable the pit stop delta is, just purely due to the tyre deg that you see with this track. Mitchell-Marm's quite close into the final corner. Micah has made it past Foulkes for second, and Mitchell-Marm through the final corner onto the straight into the DRS zone. That rear wing will fly open. A little bit of the overtake button will be used here as he looks to the inside, looks to the outside, because Harry Smith is covering it, and he's done a very good job of defending there. I think he's perfectly blocked up all the room that Mitchell-Marm wanted to use.
Yes, and it's pretty important that he did so, because he wants to have first dibs at the 2 hard runners in front of him, does Harry. So a good bit of defensive driving there, and it was important for his race, I think.
Yeah, track position doesn't mean much, but when you're fighting your own battles, especially between Mitchell Marm, if Harry Smith can get one of the overtakes done on this straight, which it looks like he will, and leave Mitchell Marm stuck behind Dechutis for the final couple of corners through a bit of, difficult running on those hard tires, especially where he'll be losing the most time. Harry Smith then looks to the inside just before this long sweeping left-hander, and he does get past Dechutis, and it's played out perfectly. Exactly as I said, Scott Mitchell-Marm will get stuck behind Dechutis for a couple of corners, and this will allow Smith to grow that gap just by a few tenths, but all the tenths here are important. It has actually pulled Mitchell-Marm out of the DRS range.
Yeah, not only that, Mitchell Marm's not going to get DRS now down the start-finish straight. He went for the move into the final corner, which was interesting. So now, potentially, he could be repassed by Dechutis. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But, yeah, he's lost DRS now to Harry Smith, and that will be crucial. He needs to try and recover that as soon as he possibly can. Here comes Taras then, side by side with Lewis Mesa, and does get him down into turn 1. We're on lap 27, so we've gone past the halfway stage, 20 laps to go, and we're nearly in range for another set of mediums. Probably are in range for another set of mediums to the end. It's just whether these guys who've gone to soft tyres, whether they pit for another set of softs or they pit early for a set of mediums now. Someone should gamble, I would say.
Well, now, like you say, is close to the decision time. I'd say we wait a couple more laps and we'll really see just who picks what. But I think that this middle stint, all being on the softs, everyone's going to pit at the same time. So obviously one tyre is going to be better than the rest of us. Bit of team orders there between the Netrex cars.
Watch this now. If Sandeep plays this smartly, he'll block Mitchell up just enough through these couple of corners legally so that he's outside of DRS of Smith. Look at that smart driving from Singh. That is helping your teammate in a jet look and using the battery look towards the final corner as well, trying to get away so he doesn't have DRS. Sensible planning from the Netrex player to make sure that Smith can't be attacked on the next lap by Mitchell Marm, as Luke Mitchell now takes that P3 from Zolt Shooks, and they both have one stop to make towards the end of the race. And Shooks will have to make it first, so I would say that this should be fairly straightforward for... and in fact, look at this. So he's still ahead, is Sandeep Singh. He's just using all his battery to defend against Scott Mitchell-Marm here and preventing the King's driver from getting through and attacking his teammate. He's still going, isn't he? Look, and they've made contact now. And down towards the sweeping chicane we go. Surely Mitchell-Marm will get him around the outside, and no, he still holds on. And look how much time Mitchell-Marm's lost. He's going to lose position to Jan Dragoon. And Sandeep Singh there is defending like his life depends on it now. I mean, it was sensible to keep the gap to Smith, but Smith is now 2 seconds down the road. Not sure what his game is now.
Well, I think, you want that gap as comfortable as possible, and Sandeep Singh is putting on a Sergio Perez level of... Oh, there goes Jan Dragoon. Yeah, but Sandeep Singh is putting in a very, very strong defense to continue to grow that gap for his teammate Harry Smith, as his Saracino behind Zolt Shooks. And this should be a fairly easy move, and I think Shooks is pulling into the pit lane to finally shed those hard tyres. Here's the interesting thing, though. 18 laps to go. Will he go for some soft tyres, or will he... Well, he has to go for a set of soft tyres at some point.
Yeah,
I imagine he's on those softs.
Yep, has to be softs. The same goes for Singh, who also has to take soft tyres to the end. This is what I mean. The hards to the soft strategy is slow. The hard medium is a reasonable strategy because you can get off the hards a little bit earlier. You don't have to try and stretch both your soft and your hard stint, but there's still a lot of laps to do on a set of softs. It's not... I mean, it's possible. It's not like they won't die on you or run out of tyre life, but it's not going to be very, very quick. Yeah, disconnect for Jan Dragoon, by the way, unfortunately for him. Mitchell Marm now also has finally cleared Sandeep Singh, and Harry Smith is only 2.5 seconds down the road, so perhaps trying to save some tyres in that phase. Here's to Chutis then, and he has been overtaken by Oliver Taras. To Chutis, another driver on those hard compound tyres, yet to make a pit stop, I believe.
I reckon this lap is a lap for Singh and the Chutis to come in and get rid of those hard tyres, get onto some soft tyres. It puts them quite far outside the points. You know, roughly they'll come out around Robin Mueling, so they'll have their work certainly cut out for them to try and recover at points from this. Of course, they will be about where they started, but it's not what you want to be doing for a strategy like this. Of course, it was a gamble, and it hasn't paid off as Fabrizio Gobbi at the front. We've missed it. Was battling with Luke Mitchell and has in fact taken third position as Sandeep Singh does pull into the pit lane. Taras looked like he was following him for a moment there. And Singh off those hard tyres. What will he go to? Luke Mitchell has actually got back past Fabrizio Gobbi.
Yeah, we're missing what looks like quite a big battle there, actually. They're swapping around. Gobbi initially got past, as you say, down the start-finish straight, but then Mitchell got him back into turn 3, I believe.
Yeah. Let's see. Replay of it here.
Let's have a look. So this might be spicy. I don't know. It's the sort of thing. I know Mitchell, and he hasn't particularly gone for a huge defensive move, but we saw Gobbi got a little bit headstrong at Suzuka, should we say? So let's see what happened down into turn 4 then. So Gobbi goes defensive, leaves just enough room to be fair to him. Mitchell goes down the inside, and through he goes back again. Lovely clean racing that, wasn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, I think that's the battle with the least wheel bangs we've seen so far. And this is about where we picked up on the action, as Gobbi remains in 4th position. As we cut back to the live action, here's Gobbi going for it again down into turn 1. And he will make this move. Will we see a cut and copy of the previous lap? It looks like we might, although Mitchell not with the greatest of exit this time around. I don't think he's close enough to make a move at the end of this straight, and he certainly won't be. So Gobbi now, I think, comfortably moves that Stax car up until 3rd position. Of course, Mitchell won't let that just happen. He will be pushing, but I can't imagine he'll be pushing too hard with Saracino behind him. He certainly won't want to get him involved.
He has 3 laps softer, or 3 laps fresher tyres as Gobbi, I believe. So, yeah. I think it should be a case where he should, in theory, he should have the better tyre life right now, the better chance to push and so on. But yeah, they're both on softs. Just the 3 lap difference, perhaps making it for Gobbi there to take P3. Micah is 4.2 back of Vasquez, who we've not talked about either of those guys very much, but Vasquez very much now in a race of his own and just able to be a 10th lap quicker than Micah, and that's all you need, really, isn't it? Right now, 10th or 2. Micah just 0.2 slower on that previous lap, highlighting my point, and it's just not gonna. Unfortunately, you have to be a little bit closer than that. It's just not happening for Micah today.
No, and it's the same thing we've seen in previous races where Vasquez will grow a gap rapidly and then just sort of. I feel like he holds his pace a little bit to maintain the gap and also maintain his tyres and everything, as Harry Smith comes into the pit lane along with Lorenzo De Chutis. That's interesting for Smith. He didn't get that many laps out of those medium tyres. In fact, he only got 15.
Well, he was on softs.
But that's not what RaceView says.
No, he was on soft. So the RaceView is lying to you. He was on. No, wait. No, he was on softs just now, right? Yeah, he made a pit stop and then caught up Singh.
Okay, so he's pulled onto another set of softs.
Yeah, I think he started on
Okay.
mediums, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm gonna have to check. Leave me alone for 20 seconds.
Yeah, Race View is being deceptive, but here is Oliver Taras behind Scott Mitchell-Marm, who is, well, Harry Smith has taken his pit stop, so we don't actually know what the gap will be between Harry Smith and Mitchell-Marm, but Mitchell-Marm will have to possibly, well, almost definitely make another stop, including Oliver Taras and all the runners at the front, as Aaron Vasquez has currently done 13 laps on the soft tyre. Micah done 14, and so I can imagine we'll be seeing people pull into the pit lane around about now, and there goes Scott Mitchell-Marm into the pit lane to get rid of those soft tyres.
Yeah, so Harry Smith started on medium, went soft, and then on another set of softs now, as Mitchell-Marm comes in then, and this will be soft tyres to the end of the race, won't it, from here?
Assuming nothing happens, I will say so. It'll be another set of softs going on that King's racing car. Pascal Polenz comes into the pit lane for another set of softs along with Andrzejewski. Let's see, because they were actually in quite a close battle. Never mind. Andrzejewski drives straight past the KV86 car. We'll have a couple of seconds on that pit lane exit. But for Polenz, he's actually managed to come out around 13th. And here's Sandeep Singh, whose setup we were suggesting wasn't quite right. He's managed to get back past Scott Mitchell-Marm after the pit stops.
Well, he had that undercut, didn't he, by pitting when he did. He's now retaken that position from Mitchell-Marm, but you'd expect now with Mitchell-Marm being on those fresher tyres by, what, 4 laps? 3 laps? He should do exactly what happened to him, or what happened to Gobby and Mitchell in reverse, right? So let's see what happens, I should say. But Mitchell-Marm, Sandeep goes very, very wide. Mitchell-Marm, we do well to get him down the start-finish straight, I would say, based on their tyre life. But what a showing for Mitchell-Marm to be holding his own against Sandeep Singh, given where Mitchell-Marm has been the last few seasons in Superlights. He's obviously worked very hard and got it right at Bahrain, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's certainly been pushing, but the action is at the front as Micah has come into the pit lane, Luke Mitchell has come into the pit lane, and Saracino all in the pit lane. Mitchell falls down to 7th. Micah manages to maintain 4th, just ahead of Zsolt Schuks, who is being chased by Luke Mitchell and Luis Mesa. There goes Mitchell to the inside and gets straight past the Bahrain GP car, moving himself up to 6th, and there's a familiar sight of a King's racing car getting past another as Sandeep Singh retires to 13th, although he will be battling for that position on the outside at turn 3. It's quite deceptive there. It looks like they're gaining the time around the outside, but they're really not. And Sandeep Singh, he had a very similar move performed on him earlier by Patrick Magnussen, does back out through the chicane and will take 13th behind Scott Mitchell-Marm.
Yes, and Mitchell-Marm now on the charge, I would say, towards Harry Smith. Can Harry Smith hold on to that position as well? That's a little bit of a story as we get to Aaron Vasquez taking pit road and putting on another set of soft tyres. He's done another overcut over Micah. It might be a little bit closer than you think as they come out of the pit lane now. Something like 2 seconds or so the gap will be down to. It's still quite a lot, isn't it? Easy peasy for Vasquez today. And the gap is actually going to be 4 seconds. As here we go then. That is Luke Mitchell taking Zsolt Schuks. And Mitchell moving himself up to P5. And he's actually within a second of Gobby as well, isn't he? So Gobby has just pitted. Mitchell has done 1 extra lap on those tyres and is hoping, I suppose, that he gets within DRS, and Gobby had to sort of do that to cover him off.
Yeah, interestingly, I think looking at this timing tower, you've got Oliver Taras in 2nd, but he is on a set of quite old softs now, about 10 laps old, 13 laps old in fact, are Oliver Taras's tyres, so he'll be coming into the pit lane. That will put him around about Scott Mitchell-Marm, battling away with Sandeep Singh, although he'll be losing time now compared to the fresh, soft runners. And if you look at the gap between him and Micah, in fact, look at how quickly that's coming down through the technical sections of the circuit. Not so much on the straights, but Micah definitely, if he gets past here, the gap even to Vasquez is still just at 2.5 seconds, and that's assuming that he doesn't lose any more time to Vasquez, who is on a lap fresher tyres. Looking further back then, Saracino has set a purple second sector and will be looking to possibly get the fastest lap. There goes Oliver Taras into the pit lane to get rid of those old tyres, and he will be on a set of softs for the last 11 laps here.
Yeah, interesting. I thought he might try to hang it out till the end of the race, but instead he's going to come out somewhere around Sandeep Singh, I would say, as he's coming out of the pit lane now as we speak. Yeah, he's going to come out just behind Singh. It was going to be side by side as we go through turn 1 and 2. In fact, Singh is going to be behind, so Taras then some work to do. Andrzej Zajewski sets the fastest lap of the race, and he has made his final pit stop as well, so he's hunting down Jachutis and potentially Singh. Actually, he could maybe get up to, depending on his pace. It's 5 seconds to Sandeep Singh for Andrzej Zajewski. So sorry, Pabo. It's just a hard word for me to say. But yeah, he's recovered reasonably well. He's going to go score a couple of points, isn't he, for Hyperion? At least 2.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you should have asked for Powell there. He's put in a good drive to recover from a relatively poor qualifying and an upsetting opening lap. 2 points and not too far behind another from 13th. So this is still plenty of time in this race. 10 laps to go as Aaron Vasquez crosses the line, setting the fastest lap of the race of 33.4. Almost 4 tenths faster than Micah and 2 tenths faster than Gobby. So this race truly is Aaron's.
Yeah, that's we just said about Andrzej Zajewski's fastest lap. That was 5 tenths faster from Aaron Vasquez just then. Absolutely flying.
It is a testament to the pace that Aaron does have, especially to be getting such a margin in all of the races so far, to have 4 seconds to the nearest contender, who has usually been Mateusz Micah, or I think it was Jussi Lahtinen last time out. So yeah, it certainly is a testament. Here's the closest battle on track, really. There's not much going on. The gaps are around about evening out to 1 second for everyone, and this is the quiet period of the race. You won't be seeing any more pit stops unless something happens, so it truly is just management until the last couple of laps, and then an all-out push.
Yes, use up the rest of your tyre life. You don't want to finish the race with anything in the tank, really, do you? So battery, everything, they want to exhaust it all. And I think Mitchell probably is going to settle for 4th here. He's so close to a podium, isn't he? But just not quite got the pace on Gobby, who also has 1 lap fresher tyres on him. Mitchell-Marm is close to Falkenhayn. Potentially, I think Falkenhayn's been on those hards for a long time, so potentially can move up. Harry Smith, he's been on those softs for a little bit. Mace has been on his tyres for a little bit longer. So what tyres is Mace on, actually, please, right now, Mr. Jungbluth? There we are. So so Lewis Mace is on those hards as well, so they're doing the counter strategy, going soft to hard. But yeah, so potentially you've got Smith could potentially catch Mesa. Falkenhayn could be caught by Mitchell-Marm. But I fail to see Lahtinen getting a point today, to be honest with you. He is 10 seconds back from the points right now. But yeah, it's all sort of fairly
evened itself out. Saracino is actually, Scott Mitchell-Marm is closing in on Falkenhayn this lap. That's the closest battle on track right now, just 0.6 in that one. And but yeah, otherwise it's all fairly sort of evened out, isn't it? We had an exciting opening to the race, and it sort of petered out a little bit, but that's okay.
The calm before the storm. Robin Muehling has pulled into the pit lane and peacefully retired from this race. Without event, he's pulled into the pit lane. Now would be the time for replays. No, it wouldn't. There's Saracino going past Zolt Schux for 5th position on much newer softs than are on that TTF car. 5-lap old softs compared to Zolt Schux. Oh, no. Older softs, in fact. Zolt Schux is on 3-lap old softs.
No, he's not. Can't be. Whoa, what's going on?
Oh, Falkenhayn's just lost it by himself. Is he on the? Is that another one on the curb? Do you think? It felt like it might be.
I would wager it is, and that's the second time Falkenhayn's been caught out by that.
I think there's a bug. There's surely a bug with race view.
Zolt Schux has not made another pit stop and is still up in P6. Let's see what happened to. Oh. There we go. Oh, it was before the curb.
Has he just got led right foot and
Nikita Mazepin?
Yeah, well, that was the curb though. That's the thing. That was just sort of on his own, and it's left him vulnerable to that will be
a KV86.
Couple lengths.
4 lengths.
You can tell because his car's more blue than the other one. If you look at that one.
Oh, is that how to? Oh, it's the front wing, is it?
And the top.
Oh yeah, the
car and the wing mirrors, and yeah.
Nice. I'm a fan of doing that.
Mirrors. Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Nice. That. Yeah, we do a similar thing at THR. Tom Stevens has a light blue mirrors and flicks on the end plates and numbers and gloves, and Yaltine has yellow for all of those above items. It's quite nice. You can tell them apart easily as Taras goes down the inside on Mitchell-Marm and takes that position away, although Mitchell-Marm is trying to fight back around the outside and is going to get back through, isn't he, as they go on the way down towards turn 4. But the thing is, Taras has battery, he has rear wing, and or DRS I should say, and through back goes Taras. Those words were in the wrong order, but you knew what I was trying to say.
Through back goes Taras, or back through goes Oliver Taras.
Taras goes back through.
Back, Taras, through back? Something? I don't know. You've confused me now. Anyway.
Goes Taras back through?
Does he? Who knows?
Yes.
Does Mitchell-Marm back through?
Goes.
That's the question. Well, he hasn't goes yet. He's just... We're asking if he will go back through.
Good. 0.5 seconds back he is right now. James Knox is 0.7 back of Falkenhayn now for a final point, which would be nice for Fusion, wouldn't it, if they could sneak a point out of today. And kudos to Maxime Beaulieu, Serrano, Lucchini. They've all stuck it out, still out there on track, 30 seconds away from Laatinen, realistically 37 seconds away from a point. But yeah, good stuff, guys, for staying out on track and giving it a good go for the whole race. You will learn something, and big fan of that sort of attitude. There's Serrano. We saw obviously a couple of them get into some difficulties. Speaking of, it's been a difficult round for Green Stripes, hasn't it? One car entered today, DNF. A bit of a struggle for that team, I would say. They struggled in Super League, been relegated down to Superlights, and now just the one car.
That one car didn't even have a significant campaign, retiring on the first lap due to
engine.
I can't even remember now. Engine
blow up, yeah.
One of the engine blows.
Yeah, not
Maxime Beaulieu's got past Serrano at the back.
Yeah, Serrano's Serrano's done something, hasn't he? Lost a couple of seconds there. As Scott Mitchell-Mam is still there with Taras, actually, isn't he? He's not let him go. And with just the 5 laps to go after this one. I tell you what, Smith as well has caught Mesa quite a bit. And actually, this could be like a more of a straightforward swap than you would think, given that Mesa and, or rather Bremen Netrex, they both work together. And I suspect that this will be relatively easy, given they do work together. Yup, indeed. Mesa doesn't make that hard at all for his sister team driver.
He was never going to make it hard, though.
No.
Look at the tyres. Mesa's on relatively old, hard tyres, and Harry.
Yeah, I mean it's sensible without the team affiliation. But you saw without team affiliation, you know, Sandeep Singh was defending extremely hard from Mitchell. So, you know, it can be done. But what I'm saying is it's, you know, with 5 laps to go, if they weren't friends or in friendly teams, you would expect them to race a little harder than that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, by the way. That's absolutely fine to do that. But yeah, my point is not opinionated, if you see what I mean. I'm just making a point. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have an angle on it.
What? You're impartial, and I was going to say like the BBC, but I can't really. Yeah, that doesn't really work anymore. There's not really anything going on track. This is the closest gap between 2 cars, Oliver Taras and Mitchell-Mam. And other than that, it is just calm. The gaps are consistently 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's just evened itself out, hasn't it, Alex, to be fair? And yeah, it's been another calm race for Vasquez in the end. That little bit of a squabble between himself and Micah aside, he's had nothing to do this race, has he? He's cruised past his opposition in the first stint, and then walked away with it in the final 2, having overcut as well to protect his lead. Very, very excellent driving from Vasquez. And the thing that impresses me the most is how metronomic he is. He does not make small errors. He doesn't lose lap time, and that's where his victories come from, isn't it? It's just he's able to do. He's doing 33.8 right now, having set a best lap of a 33.4. Mateusz Majka is now 7/10 slower than his best lap, as opposed to 4, and that's where the difference is. On the worn tyres, he's able to just feel that level of grip a little bit better and just maintain that lap time just that bit longer. And kudos to him for it.
Yeah, that's one of the observations I made in the first couple of races with Aaron Vasquez. He was robotic-like in his moves and his lap times, as there goes Oliver Taras past
Same thing.
Luis Mesa. And you know, back to the point about Vasquez, is he's just putting consistent laps in. And his stint, his lap time never really changed.
No.
Never really decreases. So that's the strength that Vasquez has, is his tyre management and his stint management more than anything, which has put him as far ahead as it has on Mateusz Majka, who has had to be pushing in dirty air quite a lot and has been in traffic quite a lot, and inevitably that's cost him.
Yeah, absolutely. No, couldn't agree more. It's been a very effective race, as Mesa doesn't really make it difficult for Mitchell-Mam either. So yeah, probably does realise that his overall race time is going to be compromised. Although he is actually, no, I don't take it back, as Dechutis and Pavel Andrzejewski go side by side, and Mitchell-Mam does hold on, by the way, against Mesa. He did try to come back at him a little bit into turn 4, but nothing doing there, and that's pretty much Mesa's race done. I don't think Singh will quite catch him from there, given their current lap times, although it's possible.
Things have happened at sea.
Yes, they have. Had plenty of seasons of that. None at sea.
There's lots of rain though, isn't there?
Sandeep Singh, though, yeah, he is 1.4 seconds faster than Mesa, and the interval is 2.4 with 3 to go. Yeah, he could do it. He could do it. He's got to get through as well. You need a big time offset if you can. But yeah, Andrzejewski is the one now, isn't it? Magnussen and Knox are battling away over a final point as well.
Knox has sort of silently crept up the order in this race, in fact. He had an unremarkable qualifying and has since found himself in the points-paying positions. In fact, yeah, it's a slow burner for Knox, but he's come literally from the back of the grid in that Fusion Racing car and has recovered it to a point for Fusion Racing, provided that Magnussen doesn't get back past him and steal that point away for KB86 instead, which may just happen down the straight here as the rear wing opens on that KB86 car. An overtake being used by both of them. Magnussen looks to the inside. James Knox has to settle for the outside, but it does become the inside with a little bit of a switchback. And Magnussen will have the double DRS, except it's not consistent at all. There is a yellow in Sector 2. I'm not sure who that was about. James Knox unable to catch up to Magnussen. Yeah, Magnussen does lose that point.
Magnussen takes it back. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, what was the yellow for? I missed that. Oh, Mirko Lucchini, was it? Okay, fair enough.
Oh, that's... Yeah. I think he's had enough.
I think he might be out.
Yep, there he goes. Bye-bye. We're down to 19, or I should say 20 finishes here. Let's see what happens. Is that Aaron Vasquez lapping him? And he just spins in front of him.
Okay.
Ooh, that was close. Oh. That must have been Vasquez, because that was Micah.
Yeah, that was Micah, right? Oh, his engine's gone.
I don't know. Yeah.
No. That's, you can't really see it, but because the effects are terrible at night in R-Factor 2. But there's smoke coming out the back of that. That is engine gone, I believe.
Anyway, Taras gets past. That will be Harry Smith in the Netrex. Into turn 1, pulls out of the slipstream with that DRS open. He's already passed before the first corner, so not much has happened there. An unremarkable overtake to get Oliver Taras up into 7th.
Sorry, I was rescuing my cat from the top shelf of my computer area. Yeah, so Taras does indeed move up into P7, and Zsolt Schuks is next, but miles away, unfortunately, for Taras. It's a 10-second gap. This is not Schuks on the track in front of him. That is Serrano's a lap down, I believe, or it could be Falkenhayn, actually, at this point. Mitchell Mam in P9 is not going to be able to get Smith either, is he, as the final lap begins. And Aaron Vasquez, what a drive from him. He has dominated once again. Matusz Micah has pushed him harder than he's pushed him in the first couple of races, for sure. And Gobby another 5 seconds back, but it's been him. It's been imperious again from the Spaniards, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to fault Vasquez's driving here. He hasn't been involved in anything. There was a bit of contact early on in the race as Vasquez was just getting past Micah after starting 3rd, but other than that, he's had an incident-free race, and the same could be said for just about, well, I can't say for just about everyone, but just about the whole trend for this race is that it has been incident-free. As much as I'd like to watch Vasquez round the final sector, there is quite a bit of action with Andrzejewski behind Lorenzo De Chutis here. He crept up behind him on the first couple of straights and tried to make a move. Wasn't close enough just yet, but will have, of course, one more DRS zone. But Aaron Vasquez then, I imagine, will be rounding the final corner to take his 3rd win at Superlights here at the Sakhir circuit in Bahrain. And Vasquez does take the win 3 for 3 for Optiminal. And what a race for Aaron.
Yeah, unbelievable drive. Let's see whether Andrzejewski can get to Chutis. He has been closing in on him just a little bit the last lap or two.
But
I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. There's no real opportunity down in the final couple of corners.
so Micah P2, then Gobby P3, and a good result for Stacks.
With Luke Mitchell taking P4, Saracino P5, Shooks in the end P6, Taras, Smith, Mitchell Marm, Mesa, Sandeep Singh, and then this battle with Dechutis winning out over Andrzejewski. 4 lengths in 14th, and the final point will go to Patrick Magnussen in the end, ahead of James Knox. But yeah, another win for Vasquez. Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? It's sort of the norm for Aaron Vasquez, who takes the win here at Sakhir, followed by Matusz Majka and Fabrizio Gobbi. Luca Mitchell finished 4th with Giuseppe Saracino behind him 5th. Thought Shooks from 2nd will finish 6th, with Oliver Trass recovering to 7th. Harry Smith then will finish 8th with Scott Mitchell-Marr behind him, and Lewis Mesa rounding out the top 10. Then it's Sandeep Singh who finished 11th with Lorenzo Dechutis behind him. Paweł Andrzejewski battling away with him to the end, finishes 13th. Then the 2 KV86s round out the points finishers. Pascal Polenz 14th and Patrick Magnussen 15th. James Knox finished just outside the points in 16th with Falkenhayn 17th, Jesse Larsenen 18th, Maxime Beaulieu 19th, and the final finisher, Pablo Serrano 20th. And long list, 8-car long list of DNS, Mirko Lucchini, Robin Burling, Jan Dragoon, Istvan Shingle, Justin van der Smissen, and Jorge Marquinez, along with Christian Malcharek and Federico Russo, all not finishing the race this time around, and sort of following the trend we've seen so far, with quite a lot of DNFs and not a lot of incidents.
Yeah, it was fairly mild, wasn't it, today? And frankly, not such a bad thing, to be honest with you. See if we can get a couple of people in for interviews, and come and chat to us. Say hello. That would be nice. But yeah, it was a calm race. Decent quality driving. It's nice for us to say that, though, isn't it, Alex?
I kind of miss it. I do miss it in a way. There is.
You miss the nonsense?
You do require a little bit of nonsense. There's only so much nonsense that we can bring to entertain ourselves throughout a race. There is a bit of FS2 that I do miss. In terms of, we'll call it raw racing that we saw there.
Yeah, fair. Fair. I like it. Well, it looks like no one wants to come for an interview, to be honest with you. I'd quite like to speak to Fabian Jungbluth once on broadcast. That'd be nice. So you can all hear his little voice in the background. I don't think he fancies it.
I think he fancies going to bed is what he fancies.
Yeah, right. Oh, Ross McIntyre is coming for an interview. Oh, okay. Do you know what? Just because of he's in the YouTube chat, I'm gonna say, Ross, sure, we'll give you one question. Ross, we were lonely. We were lonely.
Fair enough. Hello, boys. How are we doing?
Hello. Did you enjoy the race?
I did, yeah. Really interesting race there. Lots of interesting strategy battles. So I just saw you were a bit lonely, and I thought I'd just try my luck. I didn't really particularly want one, but very interesting from a strategy perspective. I think the main thing though is that's Vasquez going 3 from 3 now. So yeah, it's a big start for the rest of the championship in terms of kind of laying a stake down and showing what he can do.
And I think we all could have guessed what he could do, but very much a quality controlled race from him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, especially when Aaron kind of joined into GPVWC last year. Obviously, we know what he's capable of over in other simulators. I think last year what we saw from him didn't quite match that. but I think he's clearly put the work in the off-season. Obviously, he's now jumped in the Optiminal, which is a great car to be in, and he's really shown what he can do. Obviously, he's started to make a lot of Super League appearances now as well, and doing very well in those. I think he's back in the car on Thursday night as well, which, of course, you can join myself and Caitlin Penny for the Super League action. But yeah, I think everybody else in Superlights needs to be a little bit worried because, again, he's gone 3 from 3 and has looked pretty unassailable so far, outside of maybe a couple of moments today where early doors, especially Micah was leading and he just seemed to be kind of cruising. But yeah, really interesting race. Aaron now wants an interview, so I'll let you boys get on with it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway.
No, appreciate it. And I was going to get you to plug Super League on Thursday, so well done for doing it automatically. Good, top man. Thank you for coming, Ross.
Yeah, no worries, boys. Have a good one. See you later.
Take it easy. You can, of course, catch Super League in a couple of days' time, and round 3 will also be at Bahrain, same as tonight. And there was a spicy old race at Suzuka. There will be some highlights out very soon for that. But yes, let's have a quick chat with our race winner, Aaron Vasquez, who once again dominated the field today, although he did it the hard way, I would say, today, wouldn't you, Aaron?
Yeah, it was unexpected result for me, actually, because I was expecting to finish in top 5 or even worse, because I literally started yesterday with the preparation, actually, so I did literally 0 laps until yesterday, so I was expecting my pace gonna be not really good. But when I joined to the session and I started to see the lap times, I see like everyone was struggling quite a lot. So I was actually really surprised about everyone, the pace. So yeah, after the quali, I don't know how I did P5 actually, because like I say, I was not expecting to be so in the front, a lot in the front. So yeah, really happy, to be honest. I cannot say too much because it was actually everything perfect, to be honest, today, because the win, it was really impossible after what happened with the preparation, actually. So really happy with the race and especially with the result.
Yeah, 3 from 3 now for Optiminal. It's a perfect start to the season, isn't it? Are you enjoying Superlights and you enjoying being a part of Optiminal and the wider team?
Yeah, it's actually really enjoy drive the car, also like be with Young in the team as well. He's really good. That's really sucks what happened today with him, because the game crashed for him, I think, when he was P7. So it could be really good points for the team today, but it happens. So it's racing, it's simulator, you know, like sometimes can happen these things. So I'm really sorry for him, but he was doing really well. I'm really happy with the team, with the group especially. A little bit like weird this preparation for this round, like I said, because I was like not preparing nothing, so it was quite weird. But in the last first 2 rounds, it was like really good the preparation in my opinion. So I'm really happy. I hope the group continue like this and keep pushing into the end.
Nice. And Super League Thursday, you'll be back in the FTR car. Hopefully, it goes a bit better for you than what happened at Australia, of course.
Yeah, I'm actually really scared for the Thursday. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm fully scared. Even my preparation is like I say, like it's nothing. So it's gonna be a mission, I think, in the Thursday with the Super League. So my idea is basically just finish the race, get points if we can, and just like don't crash like in Melbourne. So just get confidence with the Super League as well. So I hope the race in Thursday gonna be much better than in Melbourne. But yeah, with 0 expectations, to be honest, because I don't know how it's gonna be the pace. But after today, I think it's gonna be much better than it will be like with the mentality of yesterday. Because today I see that the quali pace is not really good, but in race I think I'm feeling really good. So I hope it's gonna be a good race in Thursday. So I hope it's gonna be good. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we'll see you there, and best of luck. Congratulations, though, tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.
I think that's probably all we have time for today, Alex. Yeah. I can see Fabian pointing at his virtual watch here. But just sum up the race for us after that one.
Frankly, I have to say it was a boring race. It was a strategical race. It wasn't a race, if you get what I mean. There were some good overtakes, but inevitably, based on strategy alone and just pure pace, it was Vasquez taking it. And after that, it was just sort of a mess in the midfield when it came to strategy. There were 100 different strategies to try and take note of and try and figure out what was what, who would end up where, and in the end, we were probably completely wrong. Those are the joys of racing, though, especially at not sprint racing, whatever we call this format, long Grand Prix. I don't know. Either way,
normal racing as opposed to nonsense entertainment, I guess. It's good. It's good. It's good to be here for longer races, and I know Fabian likes it, so that's what I'm here for. Anyway, thank you ever so much, everyone, for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for Saudi Arabia. And Super League is on Thursday. Make sure you tune in to that and join Caitlin Penny and Ross McIntyre with Remco DeZeo on cameras for that one. But I've been Toby Davis. I've been joined by Alex Foulkes. And that has been Superlights. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. But until then, thanks for watching.
bye-bye.